sports.
Welcome into WPRI Double OT. Yanni Caracas is back from vacation, executing
Did
some
you do a
tweets on the
solo act
bathrobe.
last week?
I did a solo one last week. You know how that goes. It's not as good
How was
without
it?
you know? It was great. I had fun. I usually have more fun.
So
without you.
I tend to tweet a lot when I'm holding Chip and he's asleep, and I'm just on Twitter. When he's screaming, or I'm with Paige, or I'm at the gym, or at work, you know.
Get off the device. when
Most
you're
of
with the
my
baby.
tweeting is when my son's in my arms.
Enjoy time with your son. Get off
Well,
the
he's
device.
sleeping.
Yeah, but you can look at him. You can dream.
Dream.
Okay. Let's get to the show because we have a lot of great topics to talk about on the precipice of the NFL playoffs. So give me the first one.
All right, so let's start with the some games in the AFC. We have Houston, Oakland, and then I like the Pittsburgh-Miami game. The lowest seed of those teams is who the Patriots will see. Who do the Patriots want to see? Neither of the three teams or any of the three teams are very good, but who should they want to see?
Well, they want to see the worst team available. That's who they want to see. They're not into or interested in, let's get the best team available and we'll harden ourselves by getting a big win against the best possible opponent. They don't care. They don't mind facing a backup quarterback. That makes the road easier. And they want an easier road to the Super Bowl. That's how the athletes think. They're not worried about playing the best team. Which team specifically do they want to see? The Raiders? I don't know. I mean, they have a backup quarterback and a subpar defense.
First quarterback ever to make his debut in the NFL in the playoffs.
He's a third-string quarterback, Connor Cook. So I guess it's the Raiders. They know the Texans. They got a lot of familiar people on the Texans. If we're choosing, I probably would avoid them just for the sake of familiarity. And then the Dolphins, well, they know you. They're in the division. They've played you tough. Now, this year, you've played well against them. They usually don't have success in Foxborough. So I would say the Raiders.
All right, I am going to say the Texans. I don't want to see Miami. Like you said, they've seen them twice already. Beating a team 3 times, even if you're better than them, is tough to do. Something about Dirty and Ndamukong Suh being down 21 points in the fourth quarter, landing on Brady's knee or ankle makes me want to cringe. Oakland, maybe some bad juju with the tuck rule from 15 years ago. Khalil Mack, they got some players on defense. I don't know what to expect out of Connor Cook. He may get lightning in a bottle. Houston, I saw in week 2 or 3 in person in Foxborough. They were just so bad going against Jacoby Brissett. They got shut out on national TV. Dating back to when they wore those loser Letterman jackets with J.J. Watt, they're such frauds. I liked Bill O'Brien in New England, but they're just, I've never respected the Texans. So I would like them to see, and listen, Brock Osweiler, get a little revenge for him beating the Pats last year back in Denver. So I hope they see the Texans, but whoever they see, they'll beat.
I still have this mental block that Bill O'Brien might somewhere be still a good coach. I don't know.
I think he could be a good coach. It's so circumstantial.
Vrabel, is he still there? They got a lot of guys that were on the Patriots either
they got
coaching
Crennel.
stuff. Right.
They got Will Fork. A lot of connections.
I just don't like that. But Bill O'Brien, once upon a time, was a former Patriots assistant coach, and now we're trying to figure out, will we see any other former Patriots assistant coaches come next year if Josh McDaniels and or Matt Patricia leave? Do you think either will leave?
I think this is tough. I keep going back and forth. I think McDaniels will really consider the LA Rams job, especially if they give him personnel control. But I think he's waiting for the perfect scenario. Maybe the 49ers entice him, and he can kind of reroute a quarterback there or try to get Garoppolo down the road. I think Patricia probably has a better chance of leaving in that strike while the iron is hot. Every year McDaniels is up for this. Patricia right now coming off a year really good defensively with Collins leaving. He can kind of get out of the shadow of Belichick because a lot of people probably credit the Patriots defense with it being Belichick. So if I'm Patricia, I would leave now. So I think if he gets an offer, he bolts. And I don't think McDaniels leaves. I think he considers LA and San Francisco. I think neither leave, but if I'm each of them, I think Patricia will want to leave if offered. McDaniels won't. Does that make sense? That was kind of a circuitous route to get to my point.
A lot of answers there for one question. I don't think either guy leaves.
I agree with that. I don't think either leaves.
I think the fact that the Patriots will make a deep playoff run will have something to do with it. People get antsy, and they usually miss out on jobs when their team that they're currently employed by is making a deep playoff run. Josh McDaniels, if I was him, I would look for a very good job. San Francisco would not even be considered. That
Awful ownership, yeah.
Forget it. Not even a consideration. If San Diego was interested, I would listen. I would think about it. That, they have a quarterback. It's a nice area, Southern California. I'm not sold on Jared Goff. He has been bad. So I'm not sold that
You're
that is my
kind of
quarterback.
inheriting him because they're tied to him with the
And the
pick.
ownership there is probably interested in Jared Goff because they made him the first-round pick, first overall, whatever he was. So they want him to succeed. I would wait for the best job. Obviously, he was already in Denver. He's not going back to Denver and working
So
for
what's
John
a good
Elway.
job? No job is good because it's open for a reason. Either bad ownership, bad quarterback play.
The Colts.
Colts would be a good
But
job.
the owner there is nuts.
He's wacky, but you're inheriting
But you're
Andrew Luck.
maybe the best quarterback. So on the field,
The
that's a good
Giants
job.
last year was a good job.
It was.
After Coughlin. I don't know if McDaniels was up for that, was he?
I don't think he was in.
But if you're Patricia, don't you leave? When are you going to get, you're hot right now?
I don't disagree with that, and let's be honest, the Patriots' defense isn't really hot every year. They haven't
Right.
played this well in years, you could argue. So this is a good time if you're him and you want to move on and make that step to do it.
You wonder, though, if you're hiring Patricia, aesthetically, he's got the big beard, he's kind of grumpy, backwards hat, doesn't really do much with the media, very short whenever he talks to the media. Is he a guy you can put out there in front of your fan base every week? It's probably the least important thing as a football coach, but it's something owners would
Since
consider.
you brought it up, personally, I'm not a big fan of hiring anybody that's worked directly under greatness. I don't think necessarily just because they appeared great because they were coordinating Tom Brady or coordinating Bill Belichick's defense, maybe they don't know as much as we think that they know because they were taking cues from the greatest that's ever done it. I don't know. I'm more interested in the guy that kind of turned water into wine.
Well,
Jim Harbaugh's.
Yeah, who has succeeded? I mean, Mangini,
Well,
Weiss, Crennel, none of them have really done great.
Well, yeah, it's a nice, safe play if you want to feel more safe about it than hiring another guy. But, I could coordinate Tom Brady's offense and they wouldn't be bad.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about these playoff games. We talked about the AFC. We have Raiders, Texans, Miami, Pittsburgh. And then in the NFC, we have Seattle versus Detroit, and we have the Packers and Giants. Give me your four picks. Your
four winners right now. You want to go in order? I forget the order
of
the
game. Start with the AFC.
AFC, I think the Texans win. They have a better defense.
Okay.
I think the Pittsburgh Steelers win because I'm not picking Miami to go into a cold situation against the Steelers, despite they did win the game against the Steelers earlier in the year. Ryan Tannehill, not expected to play, I don't think. I'm going with the Steelers, Antonio Brown, and all the weapons, Le'Veon Bell, Ben Roethlisberger, in Pittsburgh. NFC side, not picking Seattle to lose at home. I think that game will be closer maybe than I originally thought, but Seattle wins at home despite not having Earl Thomas. And in the Packers-Giants game, we're going to keep it going. Giants win. Giants have the better defense, and I'm a defensive guy, especially in the playoffs. It's close, but the defense just makes enough plays, and Eli Manning can exploit mediocre Green Bay secondary.
All right, I think the divisional games the next weekend involving the Cowboys and Patriots and some other folks are going to be juicier matches. I think three are easy calls. I think, not easy. Houston, Oakland, who knows with the quarterback play. But I have Houston. I have Pittsburgh beating Miami, with the terrible towels waving in their offense. I have Seattle winning at home with the 12th man over Detroit, who backed into the playoffs. I'm not high on them. And then I keep going back and forth on Green Bay, New York. I think it'll be close. I think the Packers have been hot. They're going to win at home, and they're going to move on in Lambeau. That'll be a close game late. Eli pick seals it for the Packers. I would like to listen. I want to see Pats Cowboys or Pats Giants Super Bowl. So I'm rooting for the Giants to win because crack at the third.
What we should have done, and we made a mistake here, what we should have done was a segment this week about a Patriots-Giants Super Bowl. Because if they lose and we don't get to talk about it and hype it up, then that's a shame on us.
Well, the question for Patriot fans is, do you actually want that? And we talked about the other day in the office. I was like, I'd be watching the game in the fetal position, waiting for something crazy to happen.
The most rewarding situation for a Patriots fan would be to beat the Giants in the Super Bowl. The question is, do you want to roll the dice and risk it? Because if you lose to them again, that would be
Without
demoralizing.
Coughlin coaching for the Giants, does it truly avenge anything? Like, it's a
It
little
would avenge.
different.
It would, for me, it would avenge some things. Not everything.
Other than Eli,
not
who on the
18-1.
Giant, Cruz was on the 11 team, JPP,
You
I
just-
think was.
You think about all the Giant fans that rubbed it
Yeah.
in your face.
Yeah,
It would
sure.
avenge some things. Okay, so Tom Brady, in the middle of the MVP discussion, you mentioned Aaron Rodgers. He's in there too. Eli Manning is not. But there's some other viable candidates, a few of them actually this year, for MVP. With that being said, do you think, not Tom Brady, should he win the MVP, do you think he will win the MVP?
Well, since you're saying we're not asking that question, I do think he should win. I do not think he will win because when you think about people who vote for this, people in the media, they're going to discount Tom Brady for missing 4 games. They just are. He wasn't out there for all 16, even though you could say Tom Brady has won the same amount of games as Matt Ryan in 4 fewer games. He's won 11 and 12. Matt Ryan has won 11. I think it's overstated that Aaron Rodgers deserves the MVP because he was pretty bad the first half of the year.
4-game losing streak.
Don't you need to look at the entire portfolio when you're judging? Now, he's the hottest quarterback on earth right now. And I think statistically, Matt Ryan is having a really, really solid year. I just don't think it's. I mean, Brady has set the touchdown to interception ratio right here. I think Brady's been nearly flawless in the 12 games of work. So I don't think, to answer the initial question, I don't think Brady wins it. I think it's Ryan or Rodgers. I think for some reason the media just has a thing for Aaron Rodgers. Like, did you watch Sunday Night Football? Al Michaels is just gushing the whole time. So is Collinsworth. I think Rodgers probably gets it.
I don't think Tom Brady will win it. I would like to see him win it. I wouldn't vote for him, although I would like to see him win it. I would vote for Matt Ryan. I think that he's had such a good year.
That's because your wife went to Boston College.
I don't care. It's not. On a team that I thought could have been poised to really fall off the map.
Sure.
He brought him back. He had a great year, and their offense is really rolling, and he's led them to a bye week, a first-round bye, a top 2 seed. I don't feel great about that, but I don't like the Rodgers thing because, as we talked about, as you said, 4-game losing streak in the middle of the season, and he had them in a serious hole.
He had a game with like 76 yards passing.
Yeah, he came on strong late, but that doesn't mean much if you're mediocre during the middle of the season.
There were articles written, what's wrong with Aaron Rodgers?
Right. So I don't
MVP can't have that.
No. So Matt Ryan's been more consistent. Even in games they've lost, they've put up a lot of points. That Chiefs game, they had a lot of
Do you
points.
think, let's say, I would say Matt Ryan's
pick
career
6,
to
but that was
this
it.
day has been a little bit of a disappointment in terms of achieving any sort of playoff success.
Yes, I agree with that.
If he wins this award, would you say, hey, when Matt Ryan came in the league in whatever that was, 09?
Well, it certainly wasn't a mistake.
He wins an MVP, gets to the NFC Championship game, I think, in like 2012 or something. Has his career been a success?
Yeah, he's certainly not a mistake for the Falcons.
No, of course not.
I think a lot of that too. Remember, the defense was the problem during those years when they weren't getting to the Super Bowl or weren't winning playoff games. And we know what wins in the playoffs. So let's not get onto that. You mentioned Tom Brady and the touchdown to interception ratio. Listen, it's hard for me to get really fired up about a record that was previously held by Nick Foles. So that's a nice record.
That's true.
But here's the other thing about the
efficiency.
Patriots, and we've talked about this before, and it's not really fair, but they went 3-1 without him. Jacoby Brissett won a game. Jimmy Garoppolo looked like Joe Montana without,
Belichick has only won 2 Coach of the Year awards, and he wins the division every year.
But let me just end it by saying I hope he wins because I'm all on board with the whole, revenge isn't the right way to say it, but I'd love to see him win the MVP the year he gets suspended.
The day after the Super Bowl, if he wins and gets that trophy from Goodell.
4 games earlier in the year and he wins the MVP. Oh, that'd be sweet. All right,
let's talk quickly some Celtics topics. Isaiah Thomas has been lights out, 50-point game. One more Patriot topic. Stand by. All right, Martellus Bennett. A lot of buzz this week because he spoke to the media today and pretty much mentioned he and his family love it here. He's enjoying his time in New England. He likes winning, going to the playoffs. 1-year deal. It's been a success. Do the Pats consider signing him long-term after this year? Okay, what I think they will do is they will definitely approach him. They will want to re-sign him, but as is always the case, the money has to be right. They're not going to overpay for Martellus Bennett. They don't overpay for anyone. And keep in the back of your mind, this Matt Lengel has been playing. Tom Brady has been throwing him the ball. Now, we'll see what happens. We'll see where this goes. He's not Martellus Bennett, but he's been getting the ball thrown to him. They'll approach Martellus Bennett, and they'll see if he's interested. Now, Bennett on Thursday said that he has a diversified portfolio and his money is in good status. So maybe he won't try to break the bank and would be
willing to
So is he
play
here
here.
next year?
I think he will be here next year.
All right. I think the Patriots want him next year.
And the Gronk factor. too.
Not only is he insurance for Gronk, but the two tight end set. Whenever it seems like they never played together this year, but when they did, it was really fitting. And he can block. He does a lot of things Belichick appreciates. I think they offer him something reasonable to a little bit below, and I think he'll probably just get more money elsewhere. If the Pats win a Super Bowl, definitely out the door. Because then he got his ring, and
So you think
he'll
he's
go
gone?
get paid. I don't think he's here long term. I tweeted this out earlier too. Let's say they keep Garoppolo next year and franchise him. You can't pay Brady, Garoppolo, Gronk, and Bennett in 2018 for 4 guys, 2 positions. You know, the money.
We'll see. And obviously money talks, but he seems to really enjoy the winning.
If he takes a discount, he'll be here, but I don't think he will. Maybe. I mean, listen, if he hasn't spent any money. I know he's got like kids' books and art projects.
He put out a clothing line, Marty Football. He was talking about it today. You know, maybe he does. So then maybe he does want money. I don't know what the motivation is.
He's been the best soundbite since we've been here.
Besides
Talib, but different, much different. He's just a clown, and Talib is just
Talib was
straight
better.
fire.
Talib was better. Marty is excellent. Talib was a little bit better.
Chain snaps people.
Yeah, they are superstar soundbites, no question. Speaking of superstars, Isaiah Thomas, Boston Celtic. Now, excellent player. We know he's an all-star, but you know he's had some big games, so he's flirting with that S word. Is he an NBA superstar?
He's not an NBA superstar because an NBA superstar is someone you can go to, my mom or your mom or someone who doesn't watch the NBA or a marginal fan or someone across the country or overseas and say, do you know who this person is? And you point to Kevin Durant or LeBron, and they do. Those are superstars. He's an all-star. I think he's a bona fide all-star. He can be for the foreseeable future. I think he scores at an incredible rate. He's going to be top of the league in scoring. He had 11 or 12 assists the other night, so he shows he can do that a little bit. And I think he's gaining some buzz and attention with that around the league. But superstar means you have a sneaker, you're in commercials, yada, yada, yada. I don't think he's at that status, but he's a bona fide all-star.
I don't want to get into the commercials and merchandise and all that, but you know his
You're
number.
not winning a championship with him as your best player.
He's not a superstar. If they had lists of superstar, you know, he could be a C-list superstar, but then that would mean he's not a superstar. He's an all-star.
He's a B-list.
Yeah,
He's not the lead of a movie. He's not Leo DiCaprio.
No, here's the thing. This year, in his best season, he's averaging 27 points per game. Iverson routinely was over 30. 30, 29. So he was, you know, routinely in that range. Isaiah hasn't been that high. Now, he could, if he stays on this pace for the next 3-4 seasons, then maybe.
You're right.
Excuse me. Yeah, I had a little furball.
Choking?
Yeah. If he could stay on this pace for the next 4 years, we'd be having a different conversation. But, you know, 27 points per game, that's hovering around what a superstar would average.
Should the Celtics give him, he's going to warrant a max deal.
They should absolutely give him a max deal. Who else do they have? What else are they going to do? Unfortunately, you don't have that much.
It's funny. We say they can't win a championship with him as their number one, but other than being a sixth man, he is a number one or six. Like, he's not like a complimentary piece.
When you score 52 points in a game and have the games that he's had, not 50 points, but lots of points, lots of fourth quarter points, you're something real. He's real. He's just not a a superstar is just, you just smell it different. It smells different when you're a superstar.
Smells good.
It smells really good.
All right, last topic. What do we got?
Jay Crowder. So is Jay Crowder, based on what you heard and what you maybe saw on Twitter, is he in the wrong?
All right, so the backstory is Celtic fans were cheering for Gordon Hayward, who's a pending free agent this year. Maybe come to Boston. We're going to cheer for you. And Jay Crowder tweeted out, local fans cheering for the opponent, shaking my head. Someone tweeted at him, come to Dallas. He retweeted it where he used to play. And then someone said, welcome to Boston, like it or leave it. And he said, I'll leave it. All right. Wrong to question the fans. Now, first off, Celtic fans, cheer Hayward at some point, his intro or whatever, but not all game. Listen, if an opponent is going for 80 points and you lose and it's an inconsequential game, you can cheer for the opponent. But if he's making a bank shot 15-footer, don't cheer for the opponent. So that's on the Celtic fans. Crowder was in the wrong. Like, you're paid to play for the team. They'll cheer you if you're good. Like, just do your job. Wrong to say he would go back to Dallas or retweet it. You don't get into that mess. And then wrong to tell the Celtic fan he'll leave. Like, be appreciative where you are. Celtic fans, basketball fans, smart basketball people. And so I think this whole story was dumb, but I think he could have handled it better.
He definitely could have handled it better. I don't know why he got so fired up about it. I don't mind a little fire. In terms of the fans, as you said, I don't understand why they do this. I don't understand why they cheer for people. I mean, when I go and try to cuddle with my little girl or say, hey, give daddy a kiss, what does she do? She runs away. She doesn't want to give me a kiss. It's when I'm trying to read a book or talk on the phone, she comes to me and wants to be all over me. If you want the guy to come here, you cheer for your team.
Yeah.
You let him see, you don't go after him. Yeah, he'll respect that. Then you kind of, come on into Boston.
It's pathetic.
Yeah, I don't like it. I'm not doing that. I've never done that. I don't like it. Disapprove.
There was, if you want to get deep, there was some talk in Twitter today about it being a racial thing, too. Do you think Boston fans, they've had the reputation, for whatever reason, dating back, Boston doesn't cater to the black athlete as much as the white? Some reporter said it's because he's a white guy that Celtic fans are cheering. What do you think of that?
I think that's totally out of line.
Yeah?
Ridiculous and completely out of line to think that Boston fans are racist.
Certain pockets of the country, people think Boston doesn't.
You know what I think?
Welcome black athletes.
I think, and I especially in terms of maybe the Patriots, don't you get the sense that some people, media members, would love it if they could pin a racial tag on the Patriots, on Bill Belichick? Wouldn't they love that? They would love to try to bury the Patriots as a racist team.
I mean, you look at their roster, they're probably 60% black. I mean, they're just not.
Listen, it's a ridiculous conversation.
I mean, they have a lot of skill players.
So what?
Percentage-wise, they have more white skill players than the rest of the league. I would assume the stats bear that.
So
but
what?
Yeah, it's circumstantial.
It means nothing.
It means
it's a
nothing.
ridiculous conversation. And for the fact that that's even brought up because they cheered Kevin Durant last year. That's the only reason I'm saying I think people, some media members, because there's some anti-Boston, whatever, Belichick. I keep bringing up the Patriots, but there's some anti-Boston people out there. There just are in the media, the winning. That kind of comment makes me think that.
I'm just telling you it was out there.
I know, but it just makes me think that they jumped to that so quickly because they were cheering a white guy.
On ESPN got in it with some of the EEI folks on Twitter today.
It's a ridiculous argument. It's a ridiculous thing to even say.
He countered and said, listen, part of Michael Vick's popularity in Atlanta, a very prominent black city, is because he was black. He went the other way. He said that happened in Atlanta.
Okay, now we're getting into a completely different discussion. I just think the statement or even the thought of Boston being a racist situation, ridiculous.
I mean, listen, Tom Yawkey was racist.
That was back in the day.
The old Red Sox owner. But
a long time ago.
All right.
Bruins had the first African-American hockey player.
We want to finish. We don't have the graphics for this, but Bill Belichick said today this is the best group of media he's seen in a while. You were there. Did he say it sarcastically? Was he serious?
It was tongue-in-cheek. It was tongue-in-cheek.
Do you think he really respects this group?
It's been an interesting year. Lots gone on. I don't know his history. He loves the history lessons. I don't know what it was like. When he was a coordinator in New York, he didn't meet with the media much as a coordinator. So I don't. The history of media in Boston, I don't know. If you're asking me, do I think he likes the media? I think he does like the media.
I think he likes the media?
I don't think he likes.
Think he likes doing his press conferences?
No, he hates that. But
he hates it. You know what? But if you notice, the Friday morning press conference, he's in a much better mood. It's the Wednesday when he's knee-deep in the game plan, and it's that 15 minutes is taking away from his game planning. That's what he's surly about. Nothing against the individual media members. It's that I'm doing this thing that's taking away from what's important to me.
The media helps drive the sport, and he loves the sport. So I think he appreciates the media's passion and effort to better his sport or to further his sport and get the word out there on the sport of football. And I just think that, we've seen his love for NFL films. It's kind of all the same mentality. He likes the fact that people are talking about football.
Let me give you a quick hypothetical. You're at a mutual party. Bill Belichick's there, cocktail party. You've asked him several colorful questions over the years. What do you do?
What do you mean, what do I do? I go up to him and I'd say hello. I've seen him a million times.
Hey, Bill. Hey, Bill, what's up? Hey, Bill, I'm the guy who asked
No, I'd say, hey, Bill, I'd reintroduce myself because I've never shooken his or shaken.
And what does he immediately say to you?
I would expect him to say, hey, yeah, Mark, I remember, I know. And then I would engage him in some conversation like human beings do,
So, actually, my friend, I told you the story, my friend saw him at a function and made sure not to ask him about football and said he had a great 20-minute conversation about Pebble Beach playing golf with Bill Belichick.
I wouldn't doubt that.
Yeah.
I would
Other
have no.
people
If
say
I
that.
saw him at the gas station, you'd have no problem.
If you're on Nantucket in the summer and he's a couple beers deep on his boat, you can chill out, talk glory
You'd have
days.
to get on his boat.
I would love to just have him like talk passionately about, oh, that season, this player. I mean,
We
he does
all
that without, but like good behind the scenes stuff.
Oh yeah, we'd all love that though.
All right, that was a lengthy double OT.
Well, we had to get into some of this extra stuff that wasn't
And it's
produced.
going to, in
but
the coming weeks with the playoffs.
next week we'll have a matchup to discuss, so that will be
Yeah.
something that we'll be looking forward to. Of course, we won't know the Patriots' opponent until at least Sunday afternoon, so we're looking forward to that. For Yianni Caracas, I'm Mark Dondero. You have anything else to add?
Hashtag WPRI double OT.
Terrific. All right, thanks for watching. We'll see you next week.